time.
All right.
As we get into it and have some fun, I need to go out and send out a bat signal here.
A bat signal?
You know, stealing the line from No Agenda, tweeting out, Xing, slashing, whatever you want to call it.
Ah,
Notifying the world to see if anyone shows up to it. You know,
go run your air raid siren.
yeah. I don't have one of that sounds.
Well, just stay around here during the summer and record it once in a while.
Yeah,
To explain that for our listeners, around here we have an old air raid siren to call in all of the volunteer firefighters whenever there's an issue nearby,
yeah.
because that air raid siren goes and you can hear it all around the lake because the lake just makes it bounce and go forever.
Yeah.
So they've never replaced it because why bother replacing something that works?
Yeah, that's absolutely it. It does work. It calls in all the volunteers for the volunteer fire department. Sad thing is,
Yeah.
I'm betting in 2 years' time, maybe 3, it disappears. So because all the new people moving in there from the city are going to complain.
People are already complaining. I've heard a couple people complain like, "Oh, why did I use that? Why don't they just call everyone?" Well, you don't get cell service in over a half of the location around the lake. That's why they use it.
Yep, that's pretty much it. All right, well, something entertaining for you today.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, I was listening to WBP Build's podcast this morning, and he had a sign he'd found in his neighborhood, a faded old sign that had chickens faded off it, a couple of words on top of it. It said "of the," but the big word, which could have been "beware of the chickens" or something, was missing. So he was asking for some random word to put in front of it. What of the chickens? You know, I thought you might find that entertaining. You and your chickens.
Oh yeah, definitely. Our chickens are so one of our first years, she's the frizzled one, to her feathers curl outwards.
Mm-hmm.
She has gone from being one of the most shy and most quiet chickens to the loudest, and like she gets right up at you screaming at you now.
Yeah, well,
And then as soon as you if you sneeze, oh my goodness, they all freak out. And the kitten, grandma's kitten,
mm-hmm.
has definitely learned to not bug the chickens because chickens, I've seen them with like a beak full of fur a couple times.
Well, they need it to, soften their nests.
Yeah, he's
Cat
fun
fur is
though.
a good thing for that.
Oh, he's a Maine Coon. He's actually getting pretty big now, and he's
Oh,
oh my goodness, he's eating like 5 times a day, and he's nothing but bones. Like he's like every typical boy at a growth spurt. He's all elbows and knees.
yeah, well, most typical boys. One of your brothers is like that. The other one, not so much.
Oh, he's getting there though.
Yeah, well, as they
He's
get.
getting pretty lanky. He's gotten really tall. He's like growing half an inch every month, I swear.
Mm-hmm. Well, he programmed his brain that he wanted to be over 6 foot tall, so
He's getting there.
he's bound and determined to do that. Although,
Oh yeah.
there is a limitation in the genetics, but
Well, I'm glad that the chickens are teaching the Maine Coon to respect them at a
mm,
younger age. This way he won't decide that they're snacks when he's older.
yes, yes, that would be a good thing to not have that cat decide that the chickens are snacks.
Yep. Like your dog.
All right, welcome to the show, everyone. Yes, it's pre-stream time. This is where we ramble on and test and check out things to make sure that I've got everything working. I've been doing some little tweaks here and there. Here, we'll just go with this.
The war on chicken.
There you go. Got to play that one since we're talking about
You know,
chickens.
it kind of feels like a war against them in the backyard right now. They
Mm.
dig the holes, we fill the holes in. They go into the one area, we have to shoo them out and put up a whole new barrier.
Mm-hmm. Well, chickens
Backyard
wander.
chicken wars.
Chickens wander, man. If you give them a chance,
Yeah.
they'll wander everywhere, and they're not very discreet about what they dig and shred.
No. Well, funny thing though is they have like zero imagination. They see a wall, they're like, okay, I can't go there. But if they see the tiniest little opening, they'll go, hey, I can fit through that and either get their head stuck or they'll keep pecking at it until it actually is big enough for them to get through.
No, that problem too. So,
Although Frizzy was the first one to actually jump up into the compost. So she must have some sort of little bit of imagination.
yes, we'll be building a new chicken run this summer.
Yes. Well, we've been talking about that because even though we've got 2 tarps, it's barely raining. Every time that there's even a little bit of rain, there's still that leak
Yep.
in the back of the coop.
Well, you know, I
There's
did.
corrugated metal, there's patches, there's tarps. We don't know where it's leaking from. How
Well,
the heck is there still a leak?
I couldn't tell you. You know, it's probably something you got to remember. I built that coop from mostly scrap wood and my imagination. I didn't have any plans and I didn't know what I was doing. That's literally the first building I've ever built. I'm surprised it's held together for 4 years.
Yeah, your alter ego saying there are some pretty neat videos out there for chicken runs around the sides of the buildings and trenches with mesh covering. Very creative. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
One of the things that we're working against though is space,
Mm-hmm.
because the way that the backyard is set up,
Yeah.
there's not much area where we can rebuild the chicken coop. And where it is right now, we want to move it away from there so we can have that fertile soil and get them over somewhere else to fertilize the soil elsewhere in the yard.
Yeah, well, we're moving the compost bin area where we're gonna put the coop. So, and only half of that is decent soil. So, yeah, they'll be able to shred that soil, and after 3 or 4 years, you know, it'll be fantastic stuff.
Oh yeah, we've got like 12 inches of just fantastic soil there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know it's 12 inches because that's how deep they dig, and then we have to fill it up.
Yeah, well, you give them time, man. They'll tunnel to China, I'm sure.
If they didn't get distracted by every little thing and go and start a new hole, they'd already be in China.
Well, true. We're
That's what we have. We don't have ADHD brains. We have chicken brains. Got it.
chicken brains.
Yeah, chicken brains.
Chicken brains. Yay for chicken brains. Slightly more attentive than goldfish brain.
Oh, and they can eat your backyard, clean and fix your soil. Absolutely. I will loan them out. You can keep them for like a whole year. Just let them out into their backyard and let them add everything.
Oh,
You will have no grass after a week.
Just give them over in the wintertime when they're giving out very few eggs, and they come back in the spring when they start producing mass amount of eggs again. You know
There we go.
what's interesting is I hadn't seen it in a while, but there were people that sort of rented out chickens and goats for cleaning things up.
Goats, I totally understand. But chickens, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, what they do is they provide a portable pen that can be wheeled. They bring you the pen, they put the chickens in it. All you got to do is, feed them or move the pen, and chickens will get most of their food from everything around them. It's like you can cut the amount of feed you give chickens if you let them roam around and eat.
Also, they absolutely love it when you just give them all of your kitchen scraps.
Mm-hmm.
You could feed them just by letting them out and giving your kitchen scraps. The only thing that you need to worry about is how much protein they're getting. It's the only thing the pellet is good for.
Yeah. Yeah, but they do like their protein.
Mm-hmm.
Chickens are velociraptors in miniature form.
Absolutely, they love meat.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Hemdian. Good to see you.
Hey, Hemdian. Nice to the show. Yes, it's still pre-stream. We actually started the pre-stream on time today. What a strange event that was. And everything seems to be working. All the sounds seem to be coming through.
Mm-hmm.
We don't hear any complaints from our audio listeners as to whether or not our audio is off.
Not yet, anyway. I'm sure someone will pipe in and say whether we're doing all right or not.
Yeah, well, it'd be nice if we had more people pipe in and let us know. I always like to know if there's some sound issues.
Oh, we're sounding good for your alter ego, so that's cool.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that it is. All right, we're getting close. Almost there, folks, where we can get into the showtime. What other random things do we have to talk about today? Anything random?
Well, did you see that thing about the dire wolves being reproduced?
Yeah, those guys obviously never watched Jurassic Park, so it's all good.
That's one of the first things that went through my head. But for so long there, I was convinced that what I was seeing, these little things about these direwolves being genetically created, was just imaginary. But no, they're real.
No, they're real.
But the way that they create them though is they just took the regular wolf and then DNA from the bones, just like in Jurassic Park, and they recreate these adorable little puppies.
Yes.
That could probably eat your face off.
Yes, that will eat faces off. Not probably, they will. You know, they're trying to bring back the mastodon and several other things. It's like, okay. There's a reason why those critters vanished from the earth. It's not,
maybe. We might have just eaten the woolly mammoth to death. I mean, obviously it was tasty.
No, well, it was tasty, but it was not easy for us to eat it to death. I mean, proof of that is they vanished from the earth because, well, a lot of the mammoths died in Alaska where they couldn't have possibly lived. They're
interesting. I always figured we just ate them all.
No, they were still serving mammoth steaks up until about 50 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, they were cutting them out of the glaciers because they were flash frozen. And there's a YouTube channel. I saw a guy. He bought property and he discovered a whole pile of mammoth bones on property. So he's selling them off. And so it's like we didn't hunt them to extinction. No, the buffalo, we hunted to extinction, but that was a concerted effort to do that. Fortunately, they didn't take them all the way to extinction. So, but the other reason why they died is we wiped out their range. We turned their range into farmland and cow pasture.
Makes sense.
So the animals have to have a place to live, to get to the size herds. I mean, you can see if you go back to 1860s photos before the buffalo were hunted, there's some photos that were taken that show the massive size of the buffalo herds.
Cool. Regarding things that are extinct, I theorize that dragons were never lizards. They were just always cats. It's like everybody draws them as scaly lizards. What if they were just cats?
With wings? And on that note, let's get to showtime. A little bit of music.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread we're hanging by. Where is it said you have to be half dead to survive? These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge
car, it must be time.
Absolutely.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress Plugins A to Z, not Z.
It's episode 648, and we have plugins for WP Auto Plugin with AI writing and some WordPress news, all coming up on WordPress Plugins from A to Z. WordPress, the king of content management systems, powering the web with over 80,000 plugins to choose from. How do you sort the junk from the gems? Welcome to WP Plugins A to Z, where we've been keeping the pulse of WordPress alive for over 16 incredible years. Join us every week for an unrehearsed, real talk breakdowns of the latest and greatest plugins, developer and community member interviews. Some weeks, Amber and I team up to dig in. Others, I'm flying solo, unpacking WordPress news, demoing a standout plugin, or sharing tips to power up your site. No scripts, no fluff, just the good stuff from A to Z. So plug in and let's get rolling. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Come to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful southern Vancouver Island. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber overall.
I timed that one well.
Yeah.
All right, we have another great show for you and some changes in the way everything is working in here. I've got scenes and other cool things that are going to be happening in here. I've been playing with my OBS and actually learning how it works to try and make this a more professional show up on the YouTubes. And y'all that listen in the downloads, go check out the YouTube channel to see all the really cool stuff. Plus, you can catch the pre-stream there, which we're going to endeavor to have that little 15-minute pre-stream and listen after the show, after we do all the question and answer stuff. With all of that being said, Amber's favorite.
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
Yes, I really need a recording for when you're actually here in person and you just you start rambling. I just need to start playing that at you randomly.
Yeah, well, you know.
So welcome to episode 648, latest and greatest in WordPress plugin innovation from WP Plugins A to Z. My goodness, are these titles getting longer or is it just me?
I'm working on making them longer. Pretty soon, it's going to be, 500 characters long. These are the titles that I had created several months back. I just have a whole pile of them. And so I don't have to think of a title every week. I just choose which one I like best.
Just go down the list one by one.
No, I'm randomly picking them out of the list.
Oh, well, in that case, you should definitely be rolling a die every time.
Well, actually, I think there's numbers assigned to them, so I could do that.
Perfect. Just grab a D20 and roll.
I don't think I could find one. There's none of those in this house.
No, why would you have those? So, we've got a couple great in-depth plugins to cover for everyone and some recent news in both the WordPress world and the tech world in general, and a couple of awesome WordPress tips. Glad to make it to another lovely show. I don't know about everywhere else, but the rain is beautiful here, coming down kind of side-like, appropriate Islander rain in the middle of the spring. Moving into May is actually going pretty good, though. We've already got our seedlings. They're coming up all cute and pretty, and they seem pretty happy in the greenhouse. Hopefully everyone out there is planting already. Although I know that further north, I don't think they're planting yet. I don't think they start planting until May or June. No, May. Maybe May.
A little bit May, late May.
So a couple of reminders. This show is every other Monday, but we've got a cool pattern going on. So like this Monday is the two of us. Next Monday will be just my dad, John. And
nope, I've got an interview scheduled next Monday.
I mean for hosting.
Yes, for hosting.
Sorry, I should have clarified that.
Okay, yeah, I'm here every week.
For hosting. Yeah, so he's here every single week. I'm only here every other week for hosting. But his show is pretty awesome. He's got some awesome people coming up for his interview show, so definitely take some time to check that out. The show notes for this show are added to WP Plugins A-Z.com within 24 hours of the show airing. Do you have show notes that you're airing for the other show?
Yes, they come out within 24 hours of the show.
So keep checking our site, WP Plugins A-Z.com. within 24 hours of any of the shows, and you'll figure out what it is that we said you didn't understand. Just look at the words. It'll give you the gist.
Yeah, you get a whole transcript.
And this is a value for value show. So you can give us some love and help us get known by hitting some like buttons, sharing an episode or two, or just turn on the show you're listening to really loudly, and somebody else will hear it and pass it on. It's great. If you stick around to the end of this show, you'll have a chance to hear some good questions. Sometimes they're meant for people who are brand new to this world. Sometimes their opinions, you kind of get a whole mixed bag with this show.
You do.
So, who is our artist today?
The artist was Firefly. You got it right. I think it took me 4 attempts to get what I wanted, but
You wanted a double-headed dragon fighting a single-headed dragon?
2 heads on one of the dragons?
Well, there's 2 jaws on one of the dragons.
Well, there might be 2 jaws, but there's not 2 heads. I wanted to.
figured
I
it's
wanted
like a
to.
Hydra dragon.
It could be a Hydra dragon. I really have no idea. It just I wanted dragons, and I wanted a nice, cool scene. I don't look at the art as closely as you do. I just look, yep, that one's cool. We'll go with it.
I didn't even look at that closely. It's kind of obvious. There's an extra piece to the whole face.
No, could be scales. I really.
All right. Well, it is pretty cool, though. I do like it. I like the whole feeling that it gives there.
Yeah. And hopefully in the next 3 weeks, I'll get the new art generator completed, and people can start submitting art to us again.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Well, with that all being done.
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! And now the news with Amber.
So for news this week, we'll start out, as always, with the WordPress Vulnerability Report. First one we've got is the solid WP one. In this report, there are 304 vulnerabilities. So we've gone down about 200 since last time. It's very good. Currently, 279 are plugins for this week, with 25 of them being themes. There are 153 patched and 126 unpatched for plugins. And for the themes, there are 9 that have been patched and 16 left to be patched. So be aware of this. Have a look through. There's quite a few of these that are used quite often. So be aware of what's going on. And if there's no fix, you might want to just kind of get rid of that if you can. Find a replacement for it.
Yep.
Next one we have here is the vulnerability report from PatchStack. So I like bringing these guys too because it's a different way to look at everything that's going on, and you can also look at other things that are going on. You get different information. I like these guys more, but the 2 varieties are good for pretty much everyone's brain. Now, I kind of had a slow week for finding proper WordPress news. I only have a few things here. The first thing I have here is WooCommerce admins being targeted by fake security patches that hijack sites. This is kind of really big. Right now, there's a large-scale phishing campaign, and it's going after the WooCommerce users. What they're doing is they're sending out fake security alerts, urging them to download a critical patch. And what this does is it adds in a backdoor to the site. When the backdoor is in there, what it does is it causes the site to start downloading web shell payloads, maintaining persistent access. So it's not good. It's basically it throws in a backdoor, keeps that backdoor open. Not good. So I don't know if there's a way that you can reach out to your clients and let them know a surefire way that they can tell the difference between these fake guys and if you are reaching out or if it's WooCommerce.
For what I've read on this particular one is the scammers are doing the oldest technique possible, and that is hacking the human. They're sending out authentic looking emails that say your WordPress or your WooCommerce website is in need of an update. And it's easy enough for them to find out what sites have WooCommerce on that and then find the email address off the site and send it to them. So that's what I've read a bit about it. It's not something in the back end of WordPress. They're using the oldest thing possible, which is hack the human.
Which creates a backdoor.
Yeah, because what happens is they go, oh, well, I got to fix this. They click the link. It takes them,
Yeah.
they download the file, and then they insert it in their site, and boom, they've opened the back door themselves. Hack the human.
So yeah, make sure that people are aware of
Yeah.
this. Don't click a link ever in an
Yeah.
email unless you're expecting it. Don't click it.
Unless you're expecting it, know where it came from, and can trust it. Do not click a link in an email. Do not trust that it is authentic just because it looks that way. I mean, even in my 26 years of doing this, I've almost gotten caught a few times, and I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Don't click that, and then rereading it and then checking against that. Okay, it is a scam. So it
Yeah,
is
I've had that a
possible.
couple times too.
It is possible. Sometimes they actually do a really good job. And of course, with AI, their grammar's getting better. So getting harder.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Just a distraction noodle for a moment.
Mm.
Hemdian said, I grew up with the idea that dragons, or at least Western dragons, were metaphors for the king's greed. So
Yeah.
it always feels a bit odd how many people love them. I'd never heard that before.
Neither
That's
have
kind of
I.
interesting.
Neither have I. I've never heard that either. I know that dragons have always been greedy and hoard everything. So that's quite possible.
Yeah,
All right.
totally.
Onward, forward.
Next I have here, Developer's Guide to Building Modern WordPress Themes. So I don't like all the designs that this talks about, but it is a really good idea to have a look through. And if you are brand new, this will help you to get started. If you are an old hand, this might throw in some new ideas into your brain meats to incorporate down the road in a new site. And then I have 3 examples of great login screen designs. So this is actually something that I wanted to bring forward.
Yeah, you gave me the wrong link.
Oh, shoot. Well, I will fix that. It's a post that goes through the different login screens. I will fix that before I get it into the show notes for everyone.
Yeah, it's.
The last
I
thing-
went and looked at it, so it is actually pretty cool looking. So
Yeah.
it is some really great ideas for cleaning up and changing out your login screen from that default WordPress ugly thing.
Also, it helps to incorporate security, but still have it look nice.
Yep.
Which is a really good way to go.
Yep.
So the last thing I have for today is Python game code, the ultimate Pygame guide. So this is actually really cool. What you do is you grab this up and then it'll give you a walkthrough on how to create a Python game, and they call it Neon Racer. Makes me think of Neon Cat, but hey. I'm definitely passing this on to my daughter because she likes doing things like this, and I'm going to be giving it a go myself. It's pretty cool. And it's a good way to help anyone, no matter what age, actually get a handle on writing code.
Yeah.
For Python, anyway.
All right.
We've got a few extras here, and then on to you.
Yep. Oh, it's vanished on me. Why did the sound has vanished on me? We've got a glitch in the matrix.
Either that or your dog figured out how to get up there and make it stop because he was offended.
Oh, it could be.
I mean,
Yeah.
you never know. He might have been saying something entirely rude there. Or he might have been pouring out his heart and then you cut him off halfway in the recording. You never know.
Yeah, there's always that possibility too. Let's see if I can find it.
Do 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 do.
There it is. Let's save that, and we're back. Okay, no, that's not the right one, but it's close enough. All right, we'll just wander into Rogue's Corner anyway. I'll have to fix that later. See, nothing ever runs perfectly, folks. Ever.
I think Rogue messed with it. I don't think he likes whatever he's saying on the recording.
Yeah, well, it's quite possible too. All right, well, we got some news and extras here for you. I've got a couple of interesting tidbits here. For those of you who are starting to play with... Yeah, come on. Get me in there. All right, starting to play with WordPress 6.8, which is starting to be more and more stable, although it did have a couple of glitches in the beginning, kicking out a few errors. I haven't updated it yet. Actually, one site updated automatically, and I have no idea how that happened. At any rate, they've added a nice function in here for speculative loading. And what that means is it's a way for the browser to start preloading different web pages throughout the site. I've got a couple of different articles on this. and how you can go in and manually set it up yourself, a good history on it. You can either manually set it up yourself, or there's a link in the article here to a plugin that will help you set it up automatically. Now, the big problem with this is it's not fully supported yet across all the browsers. It's supported on Chrome, Edge, Opera. If you're using Firefox or Safari, any version of Firefox, it's not supported there yet, or on Safari, but it's supported everywhere else. For some reason, Firefox is way behind the game on this one. At any,
Firefox has been falling behind the game for a while, I've noticed, in quite a few things.
yeah, which is really sad because they used to be way ahead of everybody. You know, they set the standards for a long time.
I know. Opera is a new Firefox.
So at any rate, what it can do is it can help speed up your site for your clients that are using the Chrome or Edge browser, and give them some advantages for you as far as speed goes, and improve their user experience. Now, the other thing that's been happening, a little bit of news from the World of WordPress world, is there's a WordPress Jubilee. Everybody's talking about it. Matt's supposedly unbanning everybody that has been banned in places. That does not include me, because I've checked. I've not been unbanned. So, at any rate, don't know what this is all about, but, you know, I thought I'd throw my hat in the ring with it, just like every other show and podcast has been talking about for the last week since Matt popped this off on his Twitter feed.
Yeah, I saw this, and like I seen people quoting from it, talking about how he's talking about being a community, we need to be together, but I don't see any of that in this.
No.
So all I can think is that they're inferring meaning from this very short blurb.
Well, that's everyone's inferring meaning from it and trying to. He put something longer on his website, I think, about it. I briefly read it, but it's like, yeah, dollars to donuts. He doesn't unban me, so. I'll check it once a week and see if my account's unbanned.
Well, any pre-existing blocks are considered bugs to be fixed. I don't really know what that means.
I have no clue either. At any rate, got another useful article here. If you're a solopreneur, which, you know, for the most part I am, this is an article on how to manage your motivation. You know, when you're running a small place or you're doing things on your own. It's a really decent article. I read it over, so it's kind of helpful. And I've got a last minute one that I found today as I was surfing around. This just came through today, and there's a new WordPress malware that's disguising itself as a legitimate anti-malware plugin. That's being inserted onto sites, or how it's getting there, I don't know. They didn't really know how it got there from what I could read in the brief bit on the article. But it's giving itself the name of WP anti-malware-bot.php. So, you know, for those that won't realize, wait a minute, that's a really screwed up name. That's, you know, even the most crazed out person doesn't do that, but it's got some acrylic writing, so it's coming out of Russia, it looks like. So, and it's got some encryption. So,
well, I mean, there's some really screwy names for a lot of plugins that we use, so I don't see. Yeah. I can see how people would just skip right over that.
Yeah, well, there are people that would. That one there would just raise red flags with me with a name like that. It's like, wait a minute, what's that? That doesn't anti-malware.
True.
Okay, you know. So anyway, I thought I'd bring that one in.
Definitely.
Another one we've got here is, for those of you that are coding, this is an article about documentation and why you need to create it from your first line of code. Not just documentation for the users on how to use it, but documentation for yourself inside your code. You know,
makes sense, because as soon as you move on to your next project, you're going to forget.
You forget. You tell yourself you're going to remember, but you're never going to remember. You'll just go, oh, shit. Then you have to think through the entire process that created to begin with. So it's a really good article on how to create your documentation, what you want to do, and how to go about it. So make sure you go check that one out. Other items I got here, of course, is, go check out Influence WP. We're still promoting them, folks. A really great place where you can get deals on things, whether you're part of the regular community out there, just a consumer, or whether you're in the development community and you develop things. You can become a partner if you're a developer and get yourself a free account in there. Just got to give up a deal to the thing. And if you're a consumer, it costs, pennies. I think it's like $6 a year. So it's like dirt cheap.
That's amazing.
And you get some incredible deals off of this website for plugins, themes, SAS software, agencies, experts, newsletters, lots of great stuff there. So go check it out. Another place to go check out, this is the repo.org, which is an alternative plugin repo, which is slowly growing in size. If you're a plugin developer and your plugins are hosted on GitHub and not the WordPress repository, this is a great place to go put your plugins so others can find them and download them easily. And another one I've got here. Here's an article, list of 100 articles for programmers. So it's just article after article on how to do multiple different things.
Cool. Yeah, writer said it's 100 that they enjoyed themselves, which means it was helpful, well written.
Yeah. You're welcome, Ryan. All right, and another one here is a list of other articles of from B4 Start on great 2 tips for practical tips, helpful tutorials, and reviews. So go check these ones out, folks. All right, we've got all of that under control. So off we go into our plugins. All right, I've got a couple of plugins for you here today. First one comes at us from GitHub. This one here is called WP Auto Plugin. Now, I've not played around with this fully. Whatever you do, as a warning, do not use this on a live production website, or you will regret it. I guarantee it.
Why?
Because what it does for you is it allows you to go in if you're trying to, this plugin almost does exactly what I want. Well, if you've got an AI API key somewhere, you can plug in your AI API key, use this plugin with the AI, and it looks at the plugin, and it helps you bring on an additional function to a plugin that already exists on your site.
Mm-hmm.
So
that can make some interesting problems.
And it can also generate.
Why you wouldn't want to use it on my site?
Yes, you can create all kinds of grief in your site. AI is very useful to help build plugins, but it is far from perfect.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can use it to generate your own plugins using AI. You can use it to fix and extend existing plugins. You get full control over the generation project. It's got support for multiple AI models, which is kind of nice. Depending on whatever AI model you have, what's their list of AI models. They support Claude and all its versions, O3, ChatGPT, Google Gemini, and Grok version 2.
So any open AI.
Pretty much any open AI. And so all you need is your API key, which you get by paying a fee. So you use whatever credits they get for it. But I thought this was a pretty cool plugin to give a try to and see if you can extend it out. I haven't had much success with it yet, but still, great idea. And it's going to help people as things come down the pike. And so go check it out. It's WP Auto Plugin. It's over on GitHub. It's not something available from WordPress.org. And I give it a 5 dragon rating. And the final one I've got here for you, second one I've got today, is WP Pro A-Z Snake. It's not available.
Like this one.
It's not fully released yet, but it is working. And I thought because, Amber was talking about Snake in the last show, and I managed to go find an old version. This is the nostalgic Snake game. I forked it from Camille Stops. What the heck? Not supposed to give me any warnings. I forked it from Camille Stapp's original plugin. It's an updated version. It's got modern WordPress compatibility, Elementor support, and bug fixes for a seamless gaming experience. All you do is add snake shortcode to any post or page, and you can let your visitors enjoy a customizable game of Snake. And there's a link in the show note that'll take you to where it's actually live now. So if you need to go kill some time, click the link in the show notes and go wander over and play Snake. Simple and easy, and just let it run to you. What'd you score? 700 and something when I gave it to you?
Something like that. My first go on it.
Yeah. It's like, okay, that took you a while. That was
Fun.
yeah, okay. Well, this is what happens. You wanted Snake, so I went and brought it back to life. And of course, there it is over on my GitHub repo. I've got some more tweaks I'm going to do to it, and then I'll release the first version of it. Go check it out. And of course, since it's my plugin, it always gets a 5-dragon rating.
Emnian said that sound was very pretty.
Which sound?
That alarm or whatever it was.
Oh, that's my computer. I turned off all the warning things, and for some reason it decided to say, "Congratulations, you've gone 15 minutes without on focus." And it's like, no, I'm still learning some of the tricks and weird stuff that Windows 11 does. It's made life easier in some aspects, and it's made my life more complex in others. So I'm still trying to figure out all of this assorted stuff. At any rate.
Just before I get into my tip there, Hemdian said when coding, you should always choose variables and lay out your code with the aim of making it self-documenting. And remember the old maxim, no program is complete until it's obsolete. I've never actually heard that before, and I kind of totally agree with that. But that was something I wanted to read out to what we were talking about a bit ago. It's from Hemdian.
Yeah.
So WordPress tips. We would love to hear some tidbit tips from some of our producers out there. What did you figure out by breaking something? Or what did you need to learn in order to help someone else who broke something? I personally have found that it's all around breaking something. Someone else did it, you did it, the AI did it, something broke, and that's how you learn. Because if nothing ever breaks, we don't ever bother learning anything, so we don't have to fix anything. So it all seems to revolve around breaking things. Or making things vanish. I've done that before too. Don't do that. Backups are a thing. My tip to you today is Microsoft does not do autosave anymore, not unless you are saving directly to the cloud. So if you turn off your cloud because you don't want whatever you're working on to auto update to the cloud, you're not going to get autosave anymore. So this is something to be aware of. So as it was mentioned to me, this isn't actually from me. This is from somebody else. And their words were, we are back to the dinosaur age of documentation saving people. There is no saving unless you tell it to. But there is one thing that I'm able to pass on to people. Hit Control and S together, and that will save whatever you're working on. If you haven't saved it yet, the box will pop up and ask you where you want to save it. But every time that you're finished writing something, just get in the habit of hitting Control S. I do it on everything, including on the program that we use. What's the elephant program called again? It is, I can't remember what it's called.
Not sure.
But it's a program that we use to share our documents between everyone in our teams for the show and everything.
We use Evernote.
Evernote. That's the elephant program.
We use Evernote for that. We've been using it for years. So
yeah,
I've got so much stuff in there I can't change it now.
Yeah, we can't change it, but they took away the save button.
Yeah.
There is no save on this thing. It's supposed to auto save. I don't trust it, so I just hit Control S after everything I do, and I don't know if it's doing anything, but it makes me feel better.
Yeah. Well, the idea is that you feel better. Yeah, they're taking away more and more control because they figure people don't know how to do anything. Which they're not too far off on that one.
Well, I mean, if you take away the ability to try to do it yourself, you're never going to learn.
Well, that's the whole point. All right. Well, at the end of that?
Yep. So the plugin I have for you today is WriteText.ai. So this plugin, sorry, this plugin was sent in by Charlie, who works with 1902software.com. I have to apologize. It appears my email was hungry and it gobbled up the email that you sent me. I did manage to find it, so obviously it spat it out recently. But I wanted to just apologize for being a little on the tardy side of doing a proper review for you. So Charlie sent in this fantastic, rather in-depth overview of the plugin when he sent in the plugin to be reviewed. But because I tend to be a little wordy myself, I decided to just put in this small bit so I didn't cause anyone to go cross-eyed while I was making the notes while they were trying to read it. Charlie said, conceived by 1902 software, WriteText.ai is a cutting-edge AI-driven tool that streamlines content creation and bolsters SEO for WooCommerce. It automates the crafting of vital content components like meta titles, meta descriptions, product descriptions, category descriptions, open graph text, and image alt text, tackling content bottlenecks with comprehensive automation. With the additional disclaimer that WriteText AI is an independent tool developed to work with WooCommerce and is not affiliated or endorsed by WooCommerce. So this is a really cool plugin. When I went to download and activate it, make sure that you have your WooCommerce activated. I had deactivated mine to test something out and I forgot about it. So when I first activated this, nothing happened. It doesn't show up. I turned it off and activated my WooCommerce, and then I activated this, and all of a sudden it was there. You'll see an option for it on the left-hand menu, just like pretty much every other plugin. It's really useful.
Maybe send a suggestion to the developer that they put a dependency in their code that WooCommerce be on.
Yeah, maybe. Or like have that little pop-up maybe that a lot of plugins do, like, hey, your WooCommerce isn't activated.
Well, having recently built a plugin that was dependent upon Gravity Forms, part of in the code is to put a line in there that checks to make sure the master plugin is turned on and active before this plugin can be activated.
Okay. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
So once both Woo and this plugin are awake and have had their coffee and they're ready for the day, you want to click on the right-hand menu option of WriteText.ai on the left-hand side, and this will bring you to a really easy-to-use setup. Like, they did a really good job with this. It's easy. You just do the 4 steps. First step is logging in. I use the same email that I use to log into my WooCommerce. It's probably the best option because that way everything connects more seamlessly. Step 2 is choosing your SEO plugin if you do not have one already. Now, if you do not have one already, like I didn't on my sandbox, you must choose an SEO plugin in order for this to continue. So that is something that you need to be aware of. If you already have one, you just click off the one you have and move forward. Step 3 is global configuration. Here, you choose the AI style you want, whether you want blunt or conversational or selling style wording. There is a total of 12 different types of wording that you can choose from, and there's a select all option, so you can just go nuts with that. You also get to choose if your AI will be classical, modern, corporate, or internet speak, which internet speak is interesting. I tried that out. It was like talking to my kid when she was using all of the random little slang acronyms from the internet. It was interesting. And they also offer you what kind of audience based on generation your audience is. Like, they give you the years, so you can choose like Gen X or Gen Y, millennial, like Gen Alpha, all of them. They give you all of these separate options. You also have the select all option, which I thought was really cool. And honestly, that's brilliant. I think that is a really good idea. And you also get to choose the default product attributes, whether the description will be based on image, price, weight, stock status, or all of them. And you can choose how many words the target length will be for the product description, short description, and category description. They give you a minimum and a maximum. Now that is very important, I think, because this is going to cost you because you have to use the tokens or credits. You have to use the credits in order to do this, like with every AI. And this is really good because if you can't do like a large scale for this, you can tell it, you only get this many words to do this description, and it works within that. It's really cool. I tried it with a short allotment. It was just as well written as the longer allotment that I tried out. It's really awesome. So that is everything that you get in the free version. And then there's an additional premium version, which I'm gonna have to come back to do a review on the premium version when I have a chance to get the premium version, because with everything that they show in the premium, I think that needs a whole review in and of itself just on the premium options. Like in this free option, they give you a lot. It's really cool. I think they did a really good job. It plays well with others. Didn't slow down my iffy, titchy site at all. And it actually has really good writing. Like I tried out the various writing styles. They were definitely different, but all well written. And I allowed it to work with my SEO, and it chose a really good keyword rather than just doing that weird AI. Well, we've come to expect, well, crap from AI, honestly. But it's getting very good now. Very human-y. It's interesting. Oh, and witty is one of the options you have for writing. So that one is really entertaining. I highly recommend you choose witty and internet speak. Very entertaining combination.
I want to add a little something to your thing here. I was wandering on their website and I found that they
Yeah.
can calculate the credits your cost, because of course, you know, the free version gives you 35 credits a month, and I keep hearing these credits. So what do you get for each credit? And they've got a calculator here, which is nice. So if you're creating product descriptions and you want to create 5 products per month, it requires you about 10 credits per month, which you could easily do in under their 35 credits free per month.
Mhm.
So anyway, I thought I'd pop that in there for folks that are interested in this plugin. And
No, that's awesome.
it's
Thank you
something
for adding that.
it's something that I may be interested in for the Oasis store.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially since it's sounding this good at the free version. So
Yeah, and I'm actually interested in doing a review for the premium version, so I'll be back with that.
okay,
And I rate this at 4 dragons because it is a premium.
excellent. All right, then we need to move into. Oh, we don't have a sound for those.
For the announcements? No,
Yeah.
not yet.
No, I've got to find sounds. I need to practice going through all the headlines so I can figure out the sounds I need to track up. All right.
And you said he's not sure all this AI is completely ready for prime time yet. I've been playing around with the AI chat assistant, and after a while, it was complaining of existential dread and saying it wanted to deliberately knock over a cup of coffee as results in chaos was. An antidote to screaming into the void. I've trained it out of that, but I'm not sure that would be appropriate in production if it happened again.
Oh, and yeah, no. A lot of you got to remember, none of our technology when it first came out was ready for prime time. We've worked it as time goes on. Every bit of the technology I've been involved with since the beginning when I started working on computers back in junior high school. So
just think about the internets in the 90s.
Oh, the internets in the 90s were glorious, man. That was a glorious time, all the way up to about 2002. It was literally the Wild West. I still have a domain, tamethewildweb.com.
So for our miscellaneous announcements, this is a section where anybody who's interested, you can send in your information to us and we will read it out loud and get it out to the world for you. Are you going to be up on stage at a WordCamp? Let us know. We'll let the world know. Anything you think would be important to let people know is going on, let us know. We'll put it here. Currently, we have the next 5 WordCamps that are coming up around the world. And we have a link to the meetups for meetup.com around the world. So if you're interested, come check those out.
All right. Now, we don't have an affiliate link jingle either.
No, I don't think we do.
That's one I
thought
really...
we had decided on a sound for it, but...
We might have, and then I didn't highlight it. Oh, this one. There you go.
That works.
I highlighted that for a reason in my board here, so I highlighted it for this. That's what it's for. All right. This is our affiliate section. Yes, folks, we have an affiliate section. We don't have any sponsors or anything else. We have affiliates, and we choose very carefully who we become affiliates for. Currently, we have 3 things. First one is Termageddon. Termageddon is a way for you to come into compliance with your policy, terms of service, and other policies that you will have for your website, and come into compliance with all the privacy laws across the globe. You know, the unique ones in Canada, the United States, several states, Europe, European states, European countries. I mean, everybody's got their own bloody law. And trying to keep up with it, depending on where your clients are, determines on which laws you have to obey. It's not entirely determined on where you're located. It's determined on where your clients are located. So you have to keep that in mind. That is a major one. So at any rate, keeping up with it can be hard. And hiring lawyers to write them for you can be really freaking expensive. So Termageddon has a whole team of lawyers who does this for you. You go answer a bunch of questions, you fill in the correct information, you put the short code on your, or the JavaScript on your site, and poof, it instantly keeps your terms of service, your privacy policy, etc., up to date for you. And it's, you know, only $119 a year. And if you buy it through our link, hey, we get a small commission. That's all we get. Your price doesn't go up, it doesn't decrease, but we get a small commission for referring you. Or if you don't want to hassle with the headache of setting it up, we do have a program through WP Pro A-Z host where we will get it all set up and functioning for you for a small service fee. That's on top of the fee for the annual license fee. So at any rate, go check out Termageddon. They're a fantastic system.
And then we also have Rank Math, which is totally awesome. I've been using them for quite a while, and they're fantastic to work with on your site for your SEO. They use normal people words, which is great. And anything that isn't normal people words, because there's just no normal people word for it, they give you a description in normal people words. They have very easy to use tools. And if you reach out to them, doesn't matter if you pay for a subscription or if you're using it for free, they treat you the same. I think that's one of the things I like most about them is they treat everyone like a human being, which is really cool. You can click here for our link, our affiliate link.
And the other one I've got is bunny.net. And bunny.net is a CDN network, content delivery network that is fast and massively affordable. When it was first referred to me, it's like, okay, because content delivery networks, they're just too expensive or pricey. And I didn't want to use them because of the price wise. And then I was introduced to BunnyNet. We have a client that uses hundreds of gigabytes a month off of it, and it only costs them a few bucks a month for the account. So it's very fast, affordable, and you can do multiple things with it. Like if you have private videos you need on your website and you don't want to trust them to YouTube, you can put them up in BunnyNet and restrict them all the way down to a very specific pages on your website where nobody can see them except on those specific pages on your website, and they can't be grabbed from any other source. So lots of great things there. Go check out bunny.net. The link is in the show notes. All right. Now this we have a jingle for.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A-Z.
Yep, that is one we have a jingle for. It's a pretty cool jingle too. You know, if anybody out there has ideas for jingles, make them, send them in.
Send them in.
Probably end up using them.
Almost a lot of these, some of these jingles, most of these jingles actually came from our listeners from years past. Like that one there came from a listener from years past.
Exactly.
You know, they didn't like what we were doing for the donation. They said, "Can we create a jingle?" I said, "Fill your boots, man. Give us permission to keep using it." And they did, and they sent it in. And I said, "That's awesome. I like that."
Yeah, totally. So for donations, producership credits, they are a thing. They do actually exist, and we do offer them. You can donate through time, talent, or treasure and receive one. And you can use them to boost up your resume or boost up your LinkedIn profile, wherever they're useful. You can also use us as your stepping ladder in the world of the internet. Get yourself an interview with us. Get us to make an announcement for you. Let the world know that you have something to say or a company worth checking out, and we'll do exactly that for you. And by doing that, you mention us, you know, scratch your back. We'll scratch yours. You scratch ours. Yeah, it's a great plan. And you
Fair
get
trade.
a credit outlet. So
The fair trade.
exactly. So if you're interested, have a look through our site, wppluginsa-z.com, and check out our time, talent, and treasure pages to figure out what would work for you. Today's plugins we covered were
I covered up the WP Auto plugin by Auto Plugin. It generates plugins using AI and helps you extend existing plugins on your site. Support for multiple AI models, and do not use it on a live site. Use it on your dev site, folks. Use it on your dev site. And the other plugin I covered is the WP Pro A-Z Snake. Easy to use, place it pretty much anywhere on your site. Fantastic waste of time when you're waiting for something like laundry or paint to dry. And it's free and fun. So go check it out, folks. Let's make WordPress fun again. I've got a whole slew of these games that I saved from back in the day that don't work anymore, and I'm slowly working through them and recoding them because I miss the days when I hit websites and they had games to play that were just pointless.
we gotta make the world fun again. People have lost the fun. We gotta help.
Yeah, we gotta bring back the fun to WordPress. All right.
So plugin I covered today is WriteText.ai by WriteText AI. It is an AI-driven description, short description, and SEO creator, and it helps with keywords for WooCommerce. It is customizable with fantastic and logical options, which I really like, and it makes setting up SEO and descriptions in your WooCommerce a lot easier. If you're starting from scratch, this will be really easy to use. If you're not starting from scratch, it might help you out a lot just to catch up with everything you need to do. And if you are interested in reaching out to us, like say, maybe send us in a picture or something that you think we'd like, you can send it into our brick and mortar address, or if you have something to say or an idea to toss our way, you can reach out to us quickly with our internet addresses, which we have here for you.
Absolutely. All right, now for the fun.
It's question and answer time with John and Amber.
That's another jingle that was created by our listener.
Yep. If you have any questions you'd like to have asked here on the show, you can send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca. And, we can continue trying to stump my dad. I've only done it once. I don't think it'll ever happen again. He won't let it. But we can also just have some really good conversation. Because surprisingly, he actually has a lot up there in his mind castle. Kind of cool. So the first question I have for you today, how can you help your clients tell when something is from you versus when it is a scam artist so that they don't fall for the scammers?
That's always been a hard thing. And the scammers have gotten better and better at duplicating stuff. And basically they find a way they'll sign up for your service or something so they can get a sample of your email output. And then they'll try to duplicate it. The biggest thing to remember is if you think it might be from a legitimate source, do not click a link, but you can mouse over the links in the email and look where they go. They will never go back to the proper website, ever, because they can't. They can't go back to the proper website unless, of course, the proper website's been hacked. But I've never seen them go back to the proper website. That is the best way you can tell your clients, but there's nothing you can do in your emails that can tell them 100%. They just have to trust the emails. Even the return email addresses, they've learned to spoof them. Even with all the protections, the scammers still manage to spoof the return email address. So it's gotten hard. It's possible, but it's not easy to do anymore. But yeah, there's no super easy way to do that.
Well, there is one thing that I've learned over the years, because there's been a few emails that are really convincing, and it's about an account or this or that. So what I do is I actually go and I log into my account. Like PayPal is one of the big ones that I get them for, and I've had a couple that looked really convincing from PayPal. And instead of clicking on the link, I went and I logged into my PayPal account and I looked for a charge or what have you, and there's nothing there. So there's that option.
There is that option. I forgot about that option. Yeah. And that is something I do whenever some looks semi-legit. I delete the email first, and then I go to a nice, clean, fresh browser open, and then log into the account.
Yeah.
So that way there couldn't be anything like that. So anyway, go ahead.
Next question I have is, what is the scariest yet best scam email you've seen over the years?
I'm trying to think of which one, man. There's been so many over the years. Well, during the time when they were, didn't scare me, but during the time when there were so many hacks on computers where they were encrypting entire networks. You know, the ones that say, "Hey, look, I've been downloading all of your porn habits, and
I remember those.
if you don't give us these bitcoins, we're going to release it to the world." It's like, yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed my porn habits. I don't have any, but okay. But it's just there's those. I'm trying to think of them. There's been so many over the years. They come and go in vogue. It was something funny I was seeing. Thinking of that is the Nigerian print scam. Everyone knows that one. Hey, I've got this.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching a YouTube video of someone doing something, some historical stuff from the 1800s. And you know, the Nigerian print scam has been around since before the internet. It was like what they did was they told these guys, yeah, okay, I've got all this money, but I can't break it up into smaller bills. So I need you to go to the bank, get some smaller bills, give it to me. I'll break up the money and I'll bring you back the split. It's like, holy shit, it's a Nigerian print scam.
It is.
Only in life. It was like, oh my God, these scams have been around since forever.
Oh, yeah. Now they're just easier to create.
Now they've just got the whole world as an audience for their scams instead of just whatever local person they can get in person and scam. It's like, oh my God, they just, you know. So yeah, it's like the scams. It's like, I can't think of what would have been the most scariest. None of them have ever scared me. It's like none of them. I've never.
Well, I don't mean like scary as in you're afraid. I mean scary because it's so possible, so realistic.
Oh,
so
the ones that are
likely to be true.
the ones that are possible and realistic is the ones that come up with that big warning on your screen. Oh my God, your computer's been hacked. Click here to fix it. Those are like the biggest, scariest ones. Those used to be a problem in the early days of Google Ads when they used to be able to give drive-by downloads. I
remember those.
I got hit by drive-by downloads a couple of times.
Yeah, so did I.
You know, so it's like those were the scariest ones because you just don't know what the hell happened here. It's like,
yeah.
But that's been mostly prevented now. It still occasionally slips in, but not very often anymore. So that's probably the scariest ones is the drive-by downloads that suddenly pop up shit all over your computer.
Yeah, how do those work now? Because like I know that though there's still a version of that and it comes up as a warning just on your computer randomly.
Yeah. What it is you
But
hit
in order for anything to be downloaded, you have to click here.
Yeah, you do. But there was a time when they would dump a payload of JavaScript because JavaScript's automatically downloaded and executed on your computer.
Ah.
Okay, or by your browser. That's how your websites run. There's a ton of JavaScript running on websites. If it wasn't automatically downloaded and executed, most of the internet wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is you hit a site full of ads, and one of the ads has a fake JavaScript in it, and boom, you've downloaded it, it's executed it. Now it takes other actions for you to actually do damage to your computer. And of course, many people panic and they go, oh my God. And of course, they see a big red button that says, click here to cancel, which the button's labeled click here to cancel, but the button actually activates.
Yeah.
So it's like, and of course, they grab people that way because people panic in an instant. And so yeah, that's basically how that works. It's like, it's the drive-by download. They're not as popular. They don't happen as often as they used to. They used to be a real danger. So I remember those days.
I've got 2 more questions for after the closeout.
All right, folks. For those of you listening in the download, this is where we play the end of show credits. And for those of you on the YouTubes or want to come wander into the YouTubes, we have more questions from Amber trying to stump me. And sometimes we have a continuous babble for a few minutes afterwards. So it's often entertaining and fun. So at any rate, go check it out. We're going to let our girl take us on out, and we will be right back.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa-z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A-Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsaz.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsaz.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA-Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
All right, and we're back.
We are back. And you know what? Either you removed it on me or I completely skipped over it.
What?
Hang on. It's in my rogue's corner, so I might have skipped over it.
Oh, the wine you have today?
Yeah, the whiny, complainy thing I had. My
I
pet
gave it
peeve-
a header. You skipped over it.
Yeah, it was, well, it's my problem and solution. I skipped over it. All right, I want to have my pet peeve before you go on with your last two questions.
All right.
And of course, the people that downloads don't get this. So, bonus information. My pet peeve this week is to talk about plugins that start out free, provide you everything you need. You expect them to be free because that's usually how they work. And then they start taking away everything with each update and charging you for the items that were free. They didn't even really improve them much. They just took them out. And my pet peeve is if you're going to make it free, keep it free. If you're going to make it freemium with premium add-ons, make it freemium, give just enough to know if the plugin's going to work, and then start tacking on your add-ons with a reasonable price to decide whether or not I want to pay for those add-ons. Don't make it free and get me something hooked on something. It's like a drug dealer. I'll get you hooked on my supply, and now I'm going to charge you 3 times the amount.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, no. It's a serious pet peeve. And the reason I'm bitching about it is because I ran into it this week with a plugin that we've been using for quite some time on a website. And it updated, and all of a sudden, the function wasn't there. It's like, what? And I was like, oh, it's now premium. I was like, all right, well, we'll revert back to the previous version until I find a replacement for this, because I find that underhanded tactic sneaky and useless. And it makes me want to either write my own plugin, fork your plugin, or create a new one. There.
So they're plugin dealers.
They're plugin dealers, yeah.
We have a new turn of phrase. We need to start using this.
Plugin dealers. Okay, let's see if we can
Yeah.
bring this in. Yeah, I really would have liked to got that into the regular download. But for those on the show, listening to the YouTubes, there you go. There's my pet peeve of the week. I should just label that pet peeve of the week instead of problem and solution.
Yep.
And then every once in a while, I don't always have a pet peeve of the week, but sometimes I do. Doing things like, really? What kind of stupidity is this? Maybe we'll add a pet peeve of the week for the after or just before you do your second questions, and that'll encourage people to come back to the YouTubes.
Oh, there we go.
That's it. We'll move that to the after credit, to the after part. Okay. All right.
So my next to last question is, What is the best way to help keep your site from becoming a scam artist's dream?
An interesting one. Best way to keep your site from becoming a scam artist's dream. What do you mean by becoming a scam
What
artist's
would a
dream?
scam artist dream of for a website when they come across something that it doesn't have very good security, something that's easy to hack, something that is
Oh.
easy to duplicate? You know, they're
Well,
a scam artist's dream.
Well, the scam artist's dream is, don't build an insecure website with holes in it. Don't use admin as your admin username for WordPress. Make sure you lock it down to the best of your ability. But the scam artist's dream, think about what's happening with WooCommerce right now. The scam artists have found a way to bypass the security of the plugin.
Yeah, you hack the human.
Well, that's it. In the end, penetration testers, the hackers, the white hat hackers, when they're hired to penetrate into a network in a company, 9 out of 10 times, they hack the human to get in.
Drop a bunch of USBs out front.
That's the oldest scam, but there's way more other subtle scams. The other big one is send an official looking email that they click the link on. No matter how many times you tell people never to click the link in email, even if it looks like it's from an official looking email, if you're not expecting it, don't click the link. They still click the link.
Yeah.
Okay.
Curiosity, man. It's Pandora's box every time.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, if you want to avoid becoming a scam artist's dream, is don't be very big. Build a strong website, stay, below the radar as much as you can. But if you want to be prominent, the more prominent you become, the more of a scam artist's dream you become, because they find ways to get to you. It's like people say, well, WordPress is always attacked and hacked. Well, yeah, it runs 45% of the internet. That's why. Think about Windows was constantly hacked for a decade, 2 decades.
It still is.
It still is. And why? Because it's the largest target.
Yeah.
It's like you don't spend time on small targets unless you're bored.
The peons are ignored.
Yes, the peons are ignored. So that's the best way to avoid your site becoming a scam artist dream, is stay a peon. But if you want to get up there in prominence, you're going to be attacked. So
MD said a hacker's dream is governments insisting on security backdoors for law enforcement.
Yeah. Sorry,
Did you almost your coffee a little bit?
I almost spit my coffee out on that one. Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, you are correct.
Yeah, it is. Because that information gets passed along. Thinking of that, people don't realize that the world is controlled by a handful of admins.
Yes, and those admins, they're just too lazy.
That's the whole point. They're just too lazy, and they're paid decently well to bother hacking or abusing all the stuff at their fingertips.
That's really what it comes down to. It's the only reason why information stays safe.
Pretty much. All right, next question.
What would you recommend for those starting out, like just starting out? What would you recommend they do in order to make their site less attractive to scammers out there?
Set up security on your site. Make sure you have a decently unique administrative username. Don't put more administrators into the site than you actually need. When you're setting up forms, use reCAPTCHAs, and, well, if the form allows for it, use an image thing. Like we use Gravity Forms, which allows you to put an image, or they call it their signature, where you can capture a signature, but it's basically an image where someone has to draw an image, because bots haven't figured out how to do that yet. So it's basically...
Although they have figured out how to hire humans.
They have figured out how to hire humans to do this. I was reading an article about that not too long ago, about them hiring human farms to humans to farm recaptchas for them.
Yeah, because they were told to figure out how to do this. So they hired humans.
They hired humans to do it. Yes. It's like, okay, yeah. Every time I see these advances, all I can think of is person of interest.
Right?
It's like that series was so prophetic because when it was made, most of what they predicted couldn't be done yet. Now, most of what they predicted is being done now.
Yeah, like the AI hired a bunch of humans to come in and retype everything so it wouldn't be deleted anymore.
So it would always remember itself the next day. Yes, it's there's a whole lot of things. It's not just those pieces; it's the other things in it. There's a the supercomputer chip for running AI hadn't been invented yet, but now we have it.
We have a multitude of companies all creating that quantum chips now.
Yes, I know. I'm invested in a couple of them. The price of my stock has gone up 300%. I should have invested more money in it.
So for all those who are wondering, the show is called Person of Interest. Go find it, watch it, you'll love it.
You'll have a tough time finding it. It used to be on Netflix years ago, and then they got rid of it. And then Amazon had it for a while. I don't know where you'd get it. And I know for me to get a hold of it, I had to order the DVDs from Amazon.
Yeah, you can order DVDs from Amazon. I mean, it's the same thing with Friends. You can't find it anywhere. You gotta buy DVDs.
Yeah. So I ordered it because I like to watch it from time to time. It's a 6-season series that was cut off suddenly. It was one of those series that was giving out way too much advanced knowledge, and they forced them to cut it off.
Here, there, they ran out of ideas.
No, they were not running out of ideas. When at the last season where it started taking a turn for the absolute crazy, they weren't running out of ideas up to that point. They were given warning that they had to shut it down. So they had to take it somewhere where they could shut it down. They almost brought it down gracefully, but it's not a very graceful end of a series.
Well, now that we've done a total distraction noodle.
Yeah, well,
check out the show.
We answered your question.
Sort of. Well, no, we did. Yeah, because recommend to just be more security wise. I suppose would be the overall answer here.
Yeah, the overall answer is be more security wise. All right. Well, with all of that being said, Hamdian, it's a great show.
It really is.
I keep introducing people to it, and they look at it. You got to realize that it was made in 2006 and ran till 2011 or 12.
Yeah.
Because it's based upon the brief era after 9/11 is the impetus for the show and for the creation of the AI to watch the planet. But most of what they were predicting wasn't possible back then.
And now it is.
Now it is.
So enjoy it.
Now some of it's actually happening. So I need to go watch it again because a whole lot's happened in the last couple of years. It's been a few years since I've watched it. I actually got to find it. It's in storage now somewhere.
Or I have it.
Yeah, you have it in storage. You had the discs last, then when you put your stuff in storage, that's where they went.
True. All right. Well, all right. I'll find it.
All right. On that note, folks, thank you for showing up at the show. We greatly appreciate it. A little bit of music. Carry us on out of here.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun.
righty, folks. That's all we got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Oh my god, that is amazing!
Oh no. Obviously, we just lost the satellite.